Well, hello! Happy Sunday fun day with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're on case number 3. We should be able to finish it today. Let's continue. There was a big commotion in the courtroom. 18th of February, 12:52 p.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I managed to find out what happened. Miss Usato. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? Sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about? Hey, Krabs. Hi, Krabs. Hi, Krabs. The homie Krabs is in the chat. It's Phoenix, right? And not about that. We'll play some Isaac after this. You want Super Chat $60? No. That's too much money, Krabs. Just you and your Krabby Patties hanging out with me is more than enough, my friend. Play some Isaac after this. We'll play some Isaac after this. Isaac? Need money. I'm okay, Krabs. That's too much. My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Huh? According to the coachman, Mr. Bappo. He took 4 passengers that night for a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. Now it seems there are in fact 5 passengers. Which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defendant, kindly proceed to the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine the young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato. Oh, we're just fine, Krabs. Thank you. Very kind of you to think about me, though. I appreciate that, but we'll be okay. Yes. You used a smoke grenade in my courtroom. 18th of February, 1 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look, she must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after a rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled the proceedings earlier? It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade. A sort of typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught, and now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for a smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded? I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why it is that the wee lass here is here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. 'Tis all tied up with the events of last night, so it is. Ah. Very well, Mr. McGilder. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. Witness testimony. Yeah, huzzah. Young girl. My throat's a little messed up today. Oh well. On the night in question, I took a back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, Becora, a loud stud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up in the seat across from me. Then I turned to find where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was riding in the omnibus, is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. The lass was the fifth passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Cross-examination. The young girl. Alright, let's see. I wonder what feels sussy. What should we press? Should we press everything? Yeah, I suppose we might as well, huh? I suppose we might as well. On the night in question, I took a back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Hold it! Hold it! And when you first got into the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were, I see. Aye, and that's why I took the back seat as it did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you meant by the back seat? By all means. 'Tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite to the one in which the poor gentleman who stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable where I feel most at ease. And of course, I do enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Then, Becora, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up a fair start. Hold it! A loud thud, you say? And a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me up and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. Huh? You didn't see anyone? But at the same moment, you did hear a scream. From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume? Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. Me eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Hold it! You sat him up, the victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me. As I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. Garuda Impacto! Garuda is such an annoying move. Oh, you fighting some, Hey, Blado, you fighting some, of Mr. Potemkin? Yeah, that's basically his win condition. If Garuda, you have to be really, really cognizant of that. If he gets you in the corner and then gets his Garudas off, you're kind of screwed. It's like the best situation you can be in for a Potemkin. You have to faultless defense like 3 times and then you're still kind of screwed. And good luck if you don't have any meter to faultless defense. So yeah, use faultless defense and pray. If you have meter, you can of course interrupt the Garuda impact with your super, which is quite good. Because it is quite a long lasting move and easy to, but yeah. That's like Potemkin's win condition. You're kind of effed. You're kind of effed, dude.
That's it, on the seat across from me, I could see the poor devil was already going.
I'll play some more Guilty Gear with you, Blado, for sure.
And if you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would ya? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Lord Devon Six, now I would have to be.
You wake up to find a dead man lying at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
My Jacko is getting better. Oh, I bet it is. You're grinding that Jacko, Blado.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest? Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is as thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble.
Are you suggesting we just going to leave the man there?
Heavens alive, no. I was always intended to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out whys and wherefores first.
The whys and wherefores?
Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example, wouldn't you good self do just the same?
Yeah, the scream always heard at the same time as the thud, the victim collapsing.
Then I turned to find where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find?
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court there was no one else in the carriage except for yourself and the victim.
So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is.
What did you mean by that?
Well, now, 'tis a queer thing, the wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Under me backside.
Good gracious! Under your backside?
And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage.
Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Oh, your Jacko's getting better. I believe it. I believe it, Blado. Thank you for the likes, by the way. That was very nice, guys. Okay. Let's examine it. Go inside. And he was on this side. So we should be able to see a cubbyhole. This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really. Mr. Krabs at the $1 donation. Oh, it's so nice, buddy. Thank you very much, Mr. Krabs. What a pog thing to do. Thank you, buddy. Of course, an English gentleman would be dressed in such finery, it would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? This seat has a handle, it seems. Oh!
Well, let's look inside.
This is the storage compartment, but it's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Oh, something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. There's blood on the floor. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, the bloodstain. It's so obvious, that's all. And yet Van Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? It looks fresh. I don't think it was there before. Alright. It's like a new blood stain. Yes, of course, the whole bus was submitted as evidence. That would be a very good time to have a good look around inside.
And that's when I found her.
Need more? No, thank you, Krabs. It's okay.
There was a child in there, all curled up in a bowl, hiding her wee self away.
I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo. Being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at this testimony. Let's just say it's trying. We certainly had precious little time to talk to McGilded before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must try to learn all the facts we can. Huh. When we arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this. Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling, even in your head. Huh? How did she?
She's psychic, just like Maya and Mamma Mia. Oh!
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off.
Okay, so do we need to present something, or what do we need to do here? Do we need to look at all the courses? I feel like I pressed everything that there was. Oh, I clapped on the floor, and I turned to find where all that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I guess we pressed this.
Hold it!
You say she was hiding herself?
Aye, that's right.
His slam attack even destroys the Jacko bots. That's correct. However, does it destroy them if you get hit? If you can avoid the slam, does it destroy them? Or does it destroy all of them full screen? I don't know the matchup, Blado, but if you jump or if you block the attack by crouching, does it destroy all the bots? Or do you have to get hit first? I would imagine it would destroy... Do you know? I know it would destroy the ones in front of him for sure, but... Destroys them no matter what. Okay, so in that case, what you should do is try to play the mid-range. Because if that's the case, your setups are going to be kind of screwed, right? From full range. So what I would do is deploy your bots mid-range if you can, or like maybe like fully, or like not fully full screen, but like maybe like 75% range, so that if you see him do his armor slam, you can jump in and then break his armor with your double overhead attack, your double overhead slash or whatever it is. Then you can get the jump on him, because it sounds like if you play full screen, he's just gonna, if that's the case, he's just gonna break all your bots. The other thing you can do, and you probably should, against that move, if you are full screen, is you should probably deploy them from the air. Right? You can do, if he is at full screen, you can probably jump toss them to get them out. I'm assuming that's going to be pretty effective. You can also, if you're closer, you can also jump and drop them on his head. So, yeah. You may have to play it more of a mid-range game. Or like a not quite full screen range game. So, yeah. He also doesn't have like a great defense. And then once you get that knockdown, he won't have enough time to break your. He won't have enough time to use his slam to break all your bots. You'll be in good mode on offense because his defense is kind of poor. Seems pretty tough. Are you playing a Heaven, Potemkin, or what floor are you on?
Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the damp lamplight, but he was all curled up in a wee ball when our eyes met. Well, my heart nearly stopped a beating in me chest.
You're really overreacting then.
Still in all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chin wag with her.
The seat opposite?
That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there.
You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir.
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, A gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time.
Presumably, that scream was Mr. Faust, who was sitting on the roof deck seats.
Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl or the gentleman with the knife in his belly.
In other words, the previous witness did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilden. What they believed yourself and the victim was in fact this young girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Mama Vita just sent me a text. Give me a second. Uh-oh. Mama and baby mountain lion sighting today at 3 p.m. Mom walked on the trail her baby to cross and they were on their way. Heads up to dogs and kids. Oh my god. It's like a block from where I live. Wow. Bandito Breaker!
Aye, my lord.
Wow, that's crazy. Mountain lion and cub right next to where I live. That's kind of sketchy. Don't let Rizzo out the house.
I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
Bandito Breaker! This is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl.
After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled the horses.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is this girl?
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among the large trouser leaving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
What? This girl here? A petty thief? Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Oh! The girl! She's gone!
Open your eyes. I'm over here.
Good gracious, how?
What was the point in that little sidestep?
I know not what you were thinking, grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She's got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, ain't it?
No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine...
Oi! Look, knives are for cowards. Only things who use weapons like that. All I need is what I do these fingers. I'm a professional, alright. Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns and gun weapons for thugs?
Oh, this was in a bag I lifted the other day down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, innit? I like the pink best.
Do not wave that thing in my direction again.
So, you admit you were riding in the omnibus on the night in question?
Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. I was just like the Irishman said.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Tina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in the case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please.
Oh,
Savas, I'm sad I missed the last stream. Wanted to see your reaction to Willy Wonka and the vampire CEO of racism. Oh, it's good, Savas. It's good, man. It's really good. Yeah, this game is fantastic.
You will tell the court exactly what happened in the night in question.
all right, if I have to.
Well said, Savas. And lovely to see you. What the girl saw.
So I snuck in the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was right a waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles last night. I tell you, you can see a blind thing in that hidden hiding place is bitching there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because of that old swell found me. He did help me get away, mind.
Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why he would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, it is simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I know that for a fact.
How?
As I'm sure I've said before, sir.
The music is awesome.
I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself.
Women, Plato said.
I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I sat tonight. And
the cubby hole of which you have spoken underneath the seat, I presume. Oh, yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature.
aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there, because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Ah!
So you see, that's why I let the last bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question?
Not at all, my lord, not at all.
Oh?
I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought, it's a word taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of a less fortunate lass.
My goodness.
What a perfect gentleman.
My lord, this fine example of a man cannot be the guilty of a heinous crime like this. Wow! I am ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir. Hadouken! The scales of justice!
With calm, calculated reasoning, going clearly at the truth every time. Hadouken! Sure you can!
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual and they're leaning to a verdict of not guilty!
This man's head's bigger than his head. Mr. Naruhodo, well, it must mean what? That we're victorious! Don't count your chickens yet, there's a vampire afoot. We've won? Are you sure?
Objection! Oh, boot scootin' boogie, baby.
If that sight of my higher heel Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy.
Ooh, sexy. Oh, the leggy.
It's my testament's 5K. I give you das boot and then you get the sploogie. The vampire sploogie. This is how I get my ladies to enjoy my company. I slap them with a nice 5 kick. Right to the belly. This is really a consummate example.
of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion ruled the day. Emotion? The witness' latest statement gives us clear insight onto his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After this incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers for the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubby hole, as the witness put it, was included in our investigation. Huh? The compartment under posterior was full of the coachman's belongings. It noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGillicuddy's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
What?
That's just not true.
Order, order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been affected, counsel?
I wish Guilty Gear Strive would rework his lobbies. They're terrible, dude. They're horrible. They're terrible, terrible, terrible.
Order, order, order in the lobbies of Guilty Gear Strive.
He might be racist, but he's so hot. He's a racist vampire pig. I don't like him. But I like my leggy up your facey. I will step on you and drink the blood of your ancestors. Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, all the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend? Huh? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear things up in a jiffy.
Sorry?
Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is only an elaborate excuse by a desperate Lord Van Zieks.
The other thing that's sketchy about this is I think he poured some wine on the... I think Van Zieks poured some wine in the car, because there was no bloodstain on the floor when we first went in there, and it looks like the color of his wine. I think he's messing with the... I think he's messing with the evidence himself. He's the one who's lying. He's the one who messed with it.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on the matter? Ho, ho, ho!
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment? Well, I mean, the real answer is it wouldn't allow me to look, so... You know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as a counsel for the defense, but as far as I remember at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes.
Are you sure, counsel?
Ouda, be west. What are you saying now, you daft doll? I thought you were on my side here.
Ah. But wouldn't it smell like wine if that were the case? I don't know. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man on the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? Butterbean. Butterbean! So far, how would you rank the prosecutors in the series? All of them A+. Except for the little rat bag at the beginning of all the games. You know, the nerdy one. But he's hilarious, too. Come on, I mean, I like them all. Von Karma is amazing. Godot's amazing. Edgeworth is incredible. This guy's hilarious, although he is a racist vampire. I even like the nerdy one who's at the beginning of all the different games, all 4 of the games that I played so far. He secretly drank Rinosuke's blood. All of them S tier. I guess I like Edgeworth and Von Karma the most, I suppose, if I had to choose between them all.
Yes, you do miss me. It's Edgeworth, baby, and I'm here coming for that ass. No, that ass is mine. I'm Francisco Von Karma. I'm here to whip it good.
Yes, the nerdy one, Plato. He's funny, but my favorite has gotta be that sweet Von Karma. Oh, that whip. I'd like her to whip me every night. Whip it good, baby.
Yes, whip it. I mean, no. Don't whip it. I'm Edgeworth, and I'm here to whip it good.
As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state the facts as I do know clearly and honestly as possible.
Interesting.
Probably the 5th game, but I won't say it for spoilers. Thank you, yes.
Ouchie! The nerdy one, ouchie! 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fella.
I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded.
Well, don't forget you're supposed to be representing me best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as a devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit you might have been mistaken?
Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
That apartment to decide the equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times.
Pain, huh? Don't spoil it for me. Just the name is okay, though.
So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo ain't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer in the big purse are lying.
Uh-oh.
I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers, nothing but cowards, the lot of them.
Oh no.
It's a trick, of course, a trick.
Uh-oh. Oh, Pain is the nerdy one? Okay.
Quite so, I must concur here. I'm nerdy. With calm, calculated reasoning, one clearly realizes that the truth every time.
Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems.
My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly a verdict not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there's just a matter of outstanding cross-examination.
Pain was the nerdy one, I see.
Counsel for defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. You have fruitcake and $3 bill? That's a fantastic run. That's a fantastic run, Blato.
What the girl saw.
So,
should we press? Nothing here seemed like super sussy, so let's move on.
So I snuck inside the carriage just before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. I tell you, I can't see a blind thing in the hiding places, bitchin' day. Then after a while, I heard this loud bang. Nearly jumped up my skin, it did. And the scream just came out.
Alright, well, this is intriguing to me. This is intriguing to me.
My lord, I'm trying to kick my desk, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my leg just makes the whole courtroom very thirsty for my baby. I'm in my leggy. Ah, 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 ah.
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor?
Well, could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump.
And you let out a scream involuntarily?
That's right. And then I felt a cushion over my leg get lighter all of a sudden.
Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes.
Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accuser stood in order to stab the victim, could it not?
Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Huh?
I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butchers. While I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up. The bloke what had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite.
That matches Mr. McGildat's account, of course.
But then, the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I snuck back down again, but it was too late by then. I should never have risked looking. It's because of that the swell found me. He did help me get away, mind.
Hold it!
When Mr. McGill did discover you, he pulled you out from your hiding place?
I was scared stiff. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all.
Next to the victim, Mr. Mason?
Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. How awful. Both me and Ed's got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog.
Both her hands covered in blood. That must have been what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilded for a while, is that correct?
He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. Frost on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want no one seeing my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later."
All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief, shocking, shining moment, yes. It's clear that they were still very unsure. We could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony. I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. I'm really not sure about this. I'm really not sure about this one. This one seems kind of difficult. Oh no. Maybe we press. Maybe we press here.
Hold it!
I don't know. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all?
Not a jot. Most days I push up the cushioning with me head and have a look at a crack. Tonight, can have a butcher's at who's gonna fiddle.
I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher.
I mean, I can't have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other ones, see? So most of the time, passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason, that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head.
Really? He said it was the most comfortable seat. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to take a peek out, I see.
Truth is, I ain't too happy in the small dark places. Feels much like I've been thrown into the clink.
Oh, really? What do you got to say, buddy? Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded?
Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel?
I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself.
Oh, no, 'twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was.
I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now.
I don't know about yourself, but I find the darkness seems to make everything you hear that much louder as well. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe.
Miss Lestrade? Did you hear something that night? Anything unusual noise, perhaps?
Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But Shebus, there's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. But he was snoring. He did give us a new clue. Yeah. What should we make of that last statement of hers? Oh, I think it's pretty significant. I think it's fairly significant, yeah. He was asleep. My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witnesses is profoundly important.
Profoundly important, but all she said was that she heard nothing.
Yes, which is a profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it.
Oh, I was almost sure I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please.
What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me.
That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move.
I was straining me ears to work on what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
No, they were definitely pressing that.
Hold it!
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself.
Oh, not exactly, no.
Sorry?
Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I would just push the cupping up and have a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw the swell getting on, I got me head down so he didn't notice me.
And Mr. McGilded was on the seat under which you were hiding, correct?
Yeah, would you Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug. So then I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would he? Not likely. Even though he stopped, air was there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like dogs old he was.
Are there any conclusions we can draw from that, I wonder? It doesn't really add up. doesn't really add up. It doesn't really add up. By the way, Gina Lestrade's name is a reference to Inspector Lestrade in the Holmes book. She's a completely different character. Still a neat reference. I do know Lestrade, yes. He's the police, Scotland Yard's police chief or head detective, yeah. Very different character, though, right?
Miss Lestrade, what you've just told the court
Is clearly at odds with the facts.
Oh!
At odds? Are you sure, man?
Absolutely.
It seems my Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared.
So Van Zeeks realized it too. It is a neat reference.
Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence of some complicit party's name at very least.
Yes, my lord.
I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court.
According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGildered snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. There's something else she should have heard. Oh shit. What do I do here? If she had been there and was listening to everything, what would she have heard? Well, I think... Let's look at the court record here. No. 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 Well, when did, she should have heard the other person, she should have heard the other guy get on. Right? Very well, my lord, allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person, the victim. Right? How? When did he get on? I can't imagine it could be. I mean, we should probably save, but this seems like a fairly obvious answer here. In my opinion. I'm not 100% sure, but...
Take that!
Take that!
Thrice-fired Mason?
Yeah, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus.
Order, explain your reasoning, counsel.
Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus, is that correct?
Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I?
And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGildered.
That I was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight.
So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin in the omnibus at that time.
Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on. Remember, chew crack under the seat cushion. He was in his own for sure.
And from what I've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onwards journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening and closing at all?
Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for the swell to leave.
In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage?
Ah!
We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts.
Oh!
Yes, the Spitty Thief's statement was clearly flawed.
Lord Van Zeeks?
Yes, he knew. He knew all too well there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement.
It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend.
What are you talking about?
You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more.
I don't think she's lying.
Is that right?
How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And the victim was a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. No, Hadouken.
Oh no. Oh, she didn't even say anything.
I didn't want to judge dear little me just because she becomes some rather not my ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars.
And neither can I.
Mr. Foreman?
I didn't want to judge the girl just because she had some less than salubrious ways, but I must say I cannot abide liars.
This is swinging more than a 1979 party at the karaoke den. There's a lot of swingers.
Oh, don't forget me. I'd like to do some swinging too.
What about me? I'm Larry Butts. I like a lot of swinging. Yeah, baby. Swing me, mama. Like a wagon wheel. Swing me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, swing me.
Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty.
Ooh la la. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. The blood of your ancestors.
Oh! God, what are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amadan? This is carnage.
He's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going, I know if we can't find a way to convince everyone Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost.
I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Hold it! Yes, the witness's last statement seemed to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case.
What are you saying?
Counsel? I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus in the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If his petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside of the cabin of the omnibus?
There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside that carriage. Well, he must have been already in there, or there was another entrance. I would guess he was already in there. There is another entrance, though. There is definitely another way the guy could have been in there. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, but... Can I sip some water real quick, if you don't mind? If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see.
Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door, the other only has windows, fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door. That's not true. That's not true. But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered.
Oh, really?
Yes, one other way inside that door. Another opening of which should allow the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin.
Eh? Oi!
All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus in which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance you suppose the victim entered the cabin?
Well, it's the skylight, of course.
Take that!
Take that! Yes! Irashai!
The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight.
I say, the skylight? Oh, unbelievable.
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has lost me for words. However,
The skylight well may be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
so you claim, but do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle-brain theory?
Both Mr. McGilden and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as noise made someone falling to the floor.
Yes, which has already been explained. As the sound of the victim falling from his seat, having been assaulted with a dagger.
Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from a seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witness described? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact?
Good gracious! Great balls of fire!
Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
Yo, this music, though.
Now you're suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible.
How can you be so sure?
Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet not one person made mention of events in their testimony.
Well, yeah, that's true, but...
Might a humble fella make a wee comment here?
Mr. McGilded?
To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof to testify afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye. 'Tis a case of being unable to say.
Oh, what?
I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would you not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Oh.
Oh my goodness, surely not.
Are those two chaps on the roof?
Yeah, they all just stuck the knife in a man where.
Oh, me panties.
Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer?
You rotter, he said. You rotter, what are you insinuating?
'Tis a flaming outrage. I've got a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute.
He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I.
Mr. Fairplay?
You are effectively accusing me, a silly gentleman and well-respected banker,
And me, a very angry at her.
suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed the man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's a... I protest in the strongest possible terms.
That's right, I protest too. What about you, you rotten scoundrel?
Order! This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the antechamber at once. But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. I nibble.
It's very hurtful, you know.
My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Sheik. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and ensue the witnesses without the proof.
Accuse? I never intended to.
It seems young Nipponese say that your comment of the English tongue is your command of the English tongue is wanting. You proposed to this court the victim fell through the skylight through the roof deck of the omnibus. This hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the event. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British law, that is what's termed a baseless accusation.
I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't dismiss it without a second thought.
What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify.
I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow.
We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once.
Testify! Testify! What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo? The spectators in the public gallery are... They're a complete frenzy!
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord, you will take the stand again to make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense.
Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this.
There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward.
You will stop and let the trial end. It will day soon, and I want to return to my coffin. Savas knows how I sleep in my coffin.
Refuting the accusation.
We were the only two people on the roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear to that.
If anything happened where we were sitting, don't you think the other one of us would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witnesses could have performed any malevolent act on this rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith.
That's right, you see? We're innocent, I tell you.
Although logically, of course, the argument falls with the two in collusion with one another.
What?
Eh?
According to investigation by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings.
Oh, well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich.
Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really? So why do I feel so uneasy?
Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord. Okay.
Ooh, we were the only two people on that rooftop, dead or alive. I can swear to that.
Seems fine. We could press that, I suppose, but I don't know. We'll see.
If anything had happened while we were sitting there, you think I would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us knew the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
Well, that's definitely not true. You definitely had dealings with...
Hold it!
So you had never met Thrice Fired Mason before? No, lummy, no, not once, never.
He'd never met the man before, he said, never.
And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either?
That's right, sir. Actors don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not. You see, there are many different ways, how can I put this? How many different ways? Neither of us has the remotest connection with the gentleman who's inside the cabin. Oh, is that right? Is that right?
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded?
Yes, counsel, what can I be doing for you?
Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow?
Not the remotest connection. Is that right now, I wonder?
Huh? What are you insinuating now?
Ah, Mr. Fairplay. 'Twas been too long, so it has.
Eh?
If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not, your repayment date?
I beg your pardon?
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
At an unconscionable rate of interest, you tricked me. It's extortion.
Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes on to another.
Ah!
And young Mr. First? Me, sir? What you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head, is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. That perfect fit, it is, well, it is a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you, they like a distinctive touch. Customers? Such as Trice-Fired Mason? Oh! There is a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence afore, my lord.
Oh, how this you mean?
I can't help thinking that Four Heller's hat looks distinctly familiar, would you say? Oh. That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours.
Huh?
The sort of customer I'd wager you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here hadn't the remotest connection with the victim, you see. I rest my case.
Oh, you little weasel. Ah! He's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGilded has certainly been through this in his research, hasn't he?
Please don't let me little interruption hold up the proceedings.
I got an achievement. Hat hunter.
The skylight was shut the entire time. What could have possibly have opened it?
All right. Let's press him. Let's press him. Are you quite certain about that? The skylight was shut the entire time. He's going to lose my block with you in a minute.
He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute, that's what he said.
Take a look for yourself. Go on. The skylight was shut the entire time.
A skylight was shut the entire time.
You take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, just like it was on that night.
So it is, of course. A fella on the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it and steal in all.
What?
Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand.
Now you hold on a minute there, sir. The size of the ting means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider a bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our canes, shall we?
Oh, I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shook myself as it happens.
This is unexpected confession, Mr. Firth. Guilty of farting. Guilty of tooting.
Oh, I must just say, well, the point is I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as a rouge, I did.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be open. I tried and tried. I was inside the cabin of shame.
But it can be opened from the outside, can't it?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade?
It opens.
Huh?
The skylight is what we was talking about, right? Bang, bang! Oh, the skylight's open. That easy.
More easily than you can load that weapon?
That's a lie, I'll tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, You can't do it from the inside, you muck. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drugs. And I had a great hole. I mean, I had voices coming out my ears.
Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be elucidizing on the subject of your criminal activity.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise of me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through.
What?
Yeah, the catch from them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin.
The skylight opens from the roof deck?
Bailiff! Climb up on the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the witness's claims. Bailiff! Bailiff! Yeah!
Oh, my eye!
Bang, bang. See? I told you. I might be just a little pickpocket urchin, but I can bang, bang right into your heart, baby. Back seat of my car, baby.
Order! So, it appears that the street girl's statement is quite true.
I don't believe it. The skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo! This could be the clue we've been looking for! Need more super chat. Don't worry about it, Krabs. Thank you for the $1 donation. Very kind of you, buddy.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself.
See?
So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. See? You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yeah, and there's a lamp inside the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Okay.
Need more pooper chat?
No, you're good. Let's go inside. Let's take a look at what we got. Oh, look what we got here. Look what we got here.
Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it?
Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why someone like me?
Well,
What is it? Look, just here. Look at this.
that, without a question, it's blood.
Why would there be blood stain there?
Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? Oh, bloodstained omnibus. Bam 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 bam. Okay.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof?
Well, I'll present you some proof. Let me save though, just in case I'm wrong. That seems pretty proof to. Oh, no. That seems pretty proofy to me.
That seems like some great proof there, Governor.
All right, present the bloodstain.
Objection!
On that night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach, and immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and here's the irrefutable proof. The remains clearly visible on the omnibus that stands before us in this very courtroom.
What? That's quite an utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do. I tell you, that's impossible.
Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel,
My lord,
I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, huh? Where exactly within the omnibus is the evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell through the roof through the skylight.
it's the blood, bro. It's the blood. It's the blood.
Got it!
Got it!
By Jupiter, is that? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open.
What?
And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening.
Oh my!
And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin itself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime.
But the blood could have sprayed there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin.
And only found its way onto that particular spot in the skylight? Sure. And that would be very convenient. And let me keep in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't be able to open it now, would I?
But there's no way to know for certain, is there, if the jet really fell through the skylight, I mean?
Why wouldn't you have a good look at the floor in the cabin between the two seats, Mr. Faust? 'Tis all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is.
What now?
But it can't be, that's all. Lies!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we?
I believe we can, sir. It's clear to me where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom.
So they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
Well.
I won't tolerate any of the guilty character being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that the nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
On three then, everyone. 1, 2, Objection! As healing performance, Mr. McGill.
Oh, and what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Seeks?
A blood stain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void.
What? Why?
For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
What are you talking about? He's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb.
Huh?
So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage, at least not until the trial began.
But
Are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was...
Fabricated, my lord, yes, and while the court has been in session.
what?
What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Seeks.
I'm Mr. Yon, I'm the coolest in the land. I'ma eat your armband with my big teeth, and I'ma swallow you, squeeze you, put you in a vice grip. My name is Yon, and Jill is gonna be my sandwich. Yummy, yummy, yummy Jill sandwich.
Yep. MC Yon. It's Christmas time, baby, and I'll be putting presents into my bars, my diss tracks. Yo.
But I'm Magnus McGill, a fella known from all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. And I'll fight to the bitter end, even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGill, I realize this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature.
Eh?
You're very adept when it comes to avoid getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that the case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt to the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that even mean?
When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGill, it's however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient story, sir.
Tut tut. Lord Van Seeks, this will not do to be sure. Will it now, counsel?
Huh? Oh, no.
I think it's fair to say this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you see?
Ah?
But, if you will at all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in there without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel?
I mean, not really. There was a smoke grenade going on. It's true. The omnibus has been in full view in the entire time the court's been in session.
My learned friend, here's to hearing your opinion on the matter in your own words.
As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during the trial? If you're asking me, I think it's possible. I hate to say it. Hey, Bakur! So lovely to see you, my friend.
I'm Mr. King Dash, and I'm in a video game. I'm voiced by the Wayne Brady, and he making me insane. I'm in a cartoon and a video game. I know people might think that I'm lame, but I'm Mr. King Dash. I'm breaking your brain, and I'm winning all my games. Yeah.
Lovely to see you, Mr. Bakur. I hate to say it. This is going against my client, but I think it's possible. I do. The smoke grenade. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defense as best I can, but still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. How are you, Bakur? I'm doing great. I'm going to play some Isaac after this, but first I'm going to finish this case. This is the third case of the first game of the second series. It's quite fun, I have to say. I really like it. I might enjoy it a little more than the first series, actually, as sad as it is. I like the animations and the music and stuff. It's great. There is no evidence to suggest the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Oh, good gracious. Explain yourself, counsel.
Plato? He's probably playing Isaac, I think.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit.
Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take as a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently on the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Just finished, got out of work, and I'm wandering the streets on my way home. Aww, congratulations. Did you have a good work day? Your lab and Jacko? Oh boy, that's scary. What's going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendants in custody and clear the courtroom.
This is a memory. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave the chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus.
Are you wise? What are ye trying to pull, ye rotten feckless googer?
Feckless googer?
You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same.
Eh?
After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus.
Inconsistencies such as?
To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items.
Not very good day, but I got lots of free food and it's very good because it's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Brother Bakur. Happy birthday, Brother Bakur. He's a cool brother. He's brother of Bakur. He's a cool brother and it's his birthday. Happy birthday, brother of Bakur. Happy birthday.
Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning.
Huh. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
I whip my hair back and forth. Labo Jacko back and forth.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord, no doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Yeah, I do think there was something unusual. There was no blood on the floor when we went in there before, I remember. Thanks for the little dong. No problem. It's what I do, Bakur. It's not very good, but I try. There was no blood on the floor, I remember. It doesn't even look like blood. My lord?
Yes, counsel?
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What in the devil's name are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back.
That's witness intimidation. Silence, McGill. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
You little maggot.
This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is the medge mark you claim appeared at some point during trial?
It's the blood.
Got it!
Got it! If we consider the victim fell through the skylight and onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good Lord! I whip my wig back and forth. I whip my wig back and forth. I whip my wig back and forth. It scrubs all of my baldness away. The ladies love my wig. I put it on their head sometimes when I get drunk. I do believe you're correct, counsel.
Ah, well said. Although, as an advocate for defense, one might say that is a very careless slip of the tongue.
I believe that the blood stain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake.
Ah?
Oh, this trial is over.
Mr. McGilded?
I've done everything I could possibly do to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now.
But you're the defendant.
'Tis over, I tell ye.
Huh?
Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, 'tis all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is the blood stain is there now.
Well...
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it's been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey is afraid to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought I'd better Lord Van Seeks. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of the individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence, and in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its allegations of previous non-existence, I regret to say it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in the matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded would be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes... Could be guilty. It's gotta be. Man, I'm gonna say the defendant could be guilty. Save the game! Kraft says, nah. I'm here in the courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, At this moment in time, I cannot in all good consciousness attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent.
Good. Good gracious me!
This is good, man.
Order! Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question? Are you sound mind?
Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a grand decision.
What?
I must say, I didn't expect quite an exciting spectacle at the end here, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have.
What do you mean?
'Tis just the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
He did it. He was the criminal. He was the criminal.
I really don't know what to make all of this. Well, the evidence we see that what effect.
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as he said.
Hey, sneaky wretch is always guilty of something, you mark my words.
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us such a lovely park.
He'll be back again, I think so. And this time he's coming for us, if I had to guess.
Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way. I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
He's a Mad Hatter, this one.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
George Jetson. George Jetson.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not.
We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or back a lie. We have no idea about the truth.
Oh, Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord?
The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented its evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apology.
But wait! When we evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defense has not, at present time, been established to the court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Huh?
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue the matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Oh.
Magnus McGill.
Good grief, you've more yet to say, have ye?
Just one thing, a warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilbert, not guilty.
Well, we won our case, but it's not a good ending. Not a happy ending.
Fireworks! What the hell? I can't believe it!
This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence more.
What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent.
With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict, and my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. Crazy! I think there's more to play here, don't you think? There's more to play here. 18th of February, 5:14 p.m., Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. That certainly was a long trial. Yeah, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Mrs. Sato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't that wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did.
Mr. McGill did? And that girl is with him too.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh? What stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks. They do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen 'em now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything.
What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man, then?
I don't think it was much to thank to me as down to your planning.
Yeah, you're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. 'Tis water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGill, on having your name cleared. But nothing's really resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh?
They've all seen that I didn't do that odious abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now the fine fellas of Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any wee details.
I did buy 7 bond. Old rule scale rig bond is 7 minutes. You bought 7 bond? Nice. Crabs? Nice.
They'll see what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have, after all. I do be providing a good number of their wages without the taxes I pay.
He totally did it. Our client totally did it. It's not that funny.
So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much.
I be rist you're a humble people, are ye, from the east? Well, if you insist. But have this still and all, you deserve a reward.
Mr. McGill?
Everything is ready, sir. I thought you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not an inconvenience, sir. There are some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. Asked if I could be present for it myself.
He's a bad guy? I think he is, yes. I think he is a bad guy. But I could be wrong. I mean, listen to the music. That doesn't sound like good guy music. They're going to examine it again now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is.
Huh?
So, then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you have a whale of a time there studying here in Great Britain.
And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too.
Oh, loading up me grenade launcher. Don't move.
Whereas, I want to say get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down?
You're a grown-up,
Sorry?
and I hate grown-ups.
Uh,
Oh, there you are. Naughty, naughty. Running off like that.
is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial to run my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh. Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Oh.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, good day to you. I'm the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normally smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off for a moment while I was changing a different omnibus and she pinched it. Luckily, it fitted with a telegraphic beacon.
What's it? A what? I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Salazar is your boyfriend? No, he's your papa.
Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly, to my technician. What? You mean you say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? Oh, I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Oh, fine, have it your way. Oh, good, you see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing at the end.
I'm fairly sure that what she wants is to not get shot by that massive gun of yours.
Well, you'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm sorry for all the fuss.
What the heck? She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yeah, you're right, but where to?
Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner we arrived in London than we had to rush here.
All of our traveling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings,
But at this rate, late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
don't worry though, I have a plan.
At worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. We can huddle together for body warmth. Yeah!
I'm not sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or a mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. Is it a 10 T-rated game? I don't know. What is the rating of this game? Let's look. Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Rating. Sale. PSN. Should say what the rating is here on PSN. Rated T. Blood and violence, yes. Rated teen for blood and violence. For however, as soon as we learn, there was more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over. That was fun. That was really fun. Uh-oh. Anime cutscene. Let's go.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Someone's locked in the...
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
This can't be.
When you in Cortland, you find a carriage and it's hot, hot, hot. You win the trial, but something was sussy. It was hot, hot, hot. Got achievement, the Reaper. Was someone in there? The glass was banging. It was hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. That's it. On the next episode, we are going to look at episode number 4. Who was in there, though? No save? No, we're saving. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, we do The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. It's a little difficult to say what I see in this preview image. Looks like there's some sort of barber chair, maybe? Possibly a physician? Looks like some sort of a cult. Probably Sherlock Holmes, I'm guessing, right? And then there's a study with a bunch of papers in the streets of London in the winter. And there's the Minister of Defense, or whatever his title was when we first got to London. There's his office as well on the bottom left. The Clouded Kokoro. That's fascinating. All right, well, we'll start that one soon. In the meantime, I think it's time for some Binding of Isaac. I haven't played Isaac in a couple of days. Then maybe we finish off the day with some DBZ, with some Guilty Gear Strive, because I'm obsessed. Thank you, Blade. Blado, Krabs, Novis, you're awesome. Bakur, happy birthday to your brother. Savas, you're a pleasure to see you again. Thank you, Krabs, for the donation. I think that's everybody. If I've missed any commenters, I apologize. Kind of a quiet stream, but I had fun. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.